All right, post is out. We should be all set. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, we should be good. Waiting for confirmation. I believe we're good. Okay, yeah, there we go. Hello. Yep, first Q&A slash just talking football of the season. We are here. We're here. Yeah, gonna be an hour and a half-ish, somewhere around there. But yeah, how is everyone? Quite a bit. Quite a bit to catch up on. Quite a bit to talk about as we head into week one. Injury reports for the first days of practice went up, and boy, I mean, it's not too bad for Miami's side, but obviously you wish it was a little better for some players. We got a game tomorrow, we got a game in 2 days. We are good. We are here. And yeah, we can start with talking about the injury report for Miami and kind of the injury situation around the league. Because, man, it is something. So, Jacksonville had one player on the injury report, and I'm pretty sure he was a full participant. Let me pull it up real quick on my side. I believe he was listed as a full participant for the Jacksonville's player. Yeah. No, it was limited. So Jacksonville has one player on the injury report. They were limited. Miami has quite a few, but most are vet rest, which is the good thing about this. Ramsey is a DNP due to a hamstring, and the reports were that it's more so McDaniel saving him from himself, which I hope is the case. Miami secondary isn't the greatest this year. I mean, like, losing Xavier Howard's going to be a buzzkill for any secondary, but we really need we don't have a lot of corner depth. I mean, it would be Saran Neal as the backup, and he's a great special team player, but he's not really like a starting corner. So hopefully Ramsey would be slowly worked into practice. He's also the case where he doesn't necessarily need to practice. He's talented enough to where he can play really effectively without practice. But obviously you hope that he will be someone who's ready to go for Sunday. Quentin Bell limited. We were limited. Javon Holland was a full participant. That's nice to see. Because again, he's very important for secondary. Jordan Poyer had vet rest, still limited. These injuries, it sucks. They pile up, and the season just started. So there's that. Hollywood Brown's not going to be playing tomorrow night, which is definitely interesting for the Chiefs, but I still don't think it's going to matter too much. I have Xavier Worthy. Hello, everyone. Just going over some injury updates. Xavier Worthy is still going to replace Hollywood Brown, I imagine, when it comes to the X receiver or the outside receiver. I mean, no Hollywood Brown definitely going to impact some things just because he's a speedy vet guy, and he's valuable to the Chiefs. Let's actually pull up the full injury report for the Chiefs. I mean, they get their first game tomorrow. How's everyone doing? Let's see. There we go. Full injury report for tomorrow night. Let me pull it up on here. because yeah, Hollywood Brown I know for sure is out. I'm not sure about who else. But I mean, the main guys for the Chiefs are healthy, and that's what matters. Because I mean, they can get by with Hollywood Brown being injured for the week, just because they have so many other weapons from Mahomes to throw it to. Yeah, okay. Hollywood Brown is the only one that's gonna be missing, it seems, and then the Ravens don't have anyone. So it's pretty much a fully healthy game. Yeah, I think KC wins. I know they. So it's a case where 13, Super Bowl defending Super Bowl champs are 13-5 in these kickoff games. The Chiefs lost it last year, but they also didn't have Kelsey or Chris Jones last year like they do this year. It's really hard to go against the Chiefs. And I don't feel like the Ravens necessarily got better compared to the AFC Championship game. So yeah, it's the Chiefs. Uh, it's the Chiefs there, and then for the Brazil game, I think we're still waiting for one more injury report tomorrow. But at the same time, both teams are arriving in Brazil tonight. I have the Eagles for that one. Just that can be a good game. Packers Eagles in Brazil. That's gonna be a fun game. Yeah, I think it's clear the Chiefs are gonna win to begin the season. I actually believe the Chiefs have lost 2 kickoff games, but still, it's hard to go against a fully healthy for the most pretty much fully healthy Chiefs team. It's just hard to go against that. And I feel like most people, I have a pick'em league. Yeah, it's a free pick, a free like prediction league. I think most people are going to Chiefs because again, it just makes sense. I'm not. Yeah, I mean, they definitely could come out hot because I think they were one of the teams who played their starters the most in preseason, and that could definitely help them like quickly get into a groove. Yeah, 65% are picking the Chiefs in this pick'em league I have, which again makes sense. Although again, the Ravens have a good team surrounding them. It's just I don't trust their receiving core. I don't trust. I mean, they're Derrick Henry, but I don't trust much anyone else for that backfield. Your defense is going to be solid. Like I would not be shocked if this is a comes down to the wire type of game. But yeah, for the most part, I think the Chiefs have it because Lamar Jackson hasn't like this is Lamar Jackson's first game reps because he didn't play in preseason. So yeah, again, I also have the Chiefs ranked number one in my power rankings. So they're just they're on the road to a three-peat, and I think they're gonna three. I mean, I'm maybe not gonna three-peat, but they're damn near gonna. They're definitely gonna be competitive the entire season just because it's the Chiefs. What's that? What are the other games again? Packers Eagles in Brazil. A lot of people going with the Eagles for that one. That's a game I was really like back and forth on of how to predict it because both teams have really solid offenses, and I just wasn't sure how the defenses are going to be playing for it. Again, it's going to be a damn fun game to watch. It sucks that it's only on Peacock, but it's going to be a damn good game. I wish that game wasn't only on Peacock because a lot of that game is going to have. If that game was on like a just like its own standalone, like same standalone time slot, but on like any of the other like notable stations, even if it was on NBC again, like it would have probably have the most eyes out of any game this week. Like, and again, majority of people are picking the Eagles, but that game's gonna come down to the wire. I feel both teams are built pretty similar, pretty alike, in a sense that they have a really good running back in Barkley and Jacobs. They have a good young quarterback in Hurts and Love. They have a solid receiving core around them, with the Eagles having AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jahan Dotson. Packers with Romeo Dobbs, I believe he's still on there. Christian Watson and Octavian Wicks. Like both teams are solidly built on offense. Thus, the question comes for the defense, and I think the Eagles improved in the edge rush department by getting in Bryce Huff, and the Packers. Yeah, they're bringing in a new coordinator. It's going to be interesting to see how their defense handles things. But again, it's just the consistency that the Eagles are bringing in, even though they also have a new coordinator in Fangio. I just think the Eagles are more not better fit, but they're proven more with sustained success. Jets Niners. I have the Niners. I saw a ranking of the O line of all O line units earlier today, and this had the Jets like the fifth ranked O line. I do not see it. Yeah, they improve the O line room, but it's still like majority new faces. Still with Robert Saleh coaching away. I mean, the Jets are such a weird team, just because we really don't know what they're gonna look like because Rodgers played 4 snaps. Like the expectation is Rodgers is gonna play more games this year and get through at least one full game. But if if he does, I still don't know how the team's gonna fit together. Because they can look electric and have great chemistry in practice all they want. The second they get on that field and there's actually like double team and bracket coverage on Garrett Wilson, and they go against a good run defense, and they can also get pressure. Things might start to crumble, and that's the kind of team the Niners have on defense. Is they can stop the run really well. They have enough pieces to target Garrett Wilson and make sure he's a non-factor in the game, and they can get to Rodgers effectively. I think the Niners are the perfect first test for the Jets, and they're also the perfect kryptonite for the Jets. I have the Niners for that one. It being Monday Night Football is kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, the NFL is really desperate to get the most out of Rodgers in a market like New York. It's crazy, but I kind of respect it. Uh, First, so when I was doing my predictions, I was like, I knew I was gonna pick a lot of like quote unquote underdogs, like maybe in a minority for quite a few of these. I am shocked that more people are not picking the Steelers. I thought that was going to be I thought that was going to be a more like 60-40 split on people picking them. No, it's closer to 75-25, and I do not get it. I mean, like, you cannot be high on like the effectiveness of the Steelers offense, which I totally get. I'm not fully high on turn the ball over a hell of a lot. Okay, I think we're good. Because like Russell, the one thing that Russell Wilson is going to do is not turn the ball over, which is perfect for the style of defense. I get why people say the Falcons because they stacked up in the offseason. I just don't fully know how well it's gonna mesh together. Because you can have like on paper an elite team with like 6 Pro Bowlers on both sides of the ball, or like a team full of Pro Bowlers both sides of the ball. But if they don't blend together well, it's not gonna go well. And it's first time head coach and Raheem Morris against Mike Tomlin, who has gotten the best out of the worst possible situations in Pittsburgh. I mean, I gotta go with the experience. And Steelers defense is just insane. Like there's not that many like superstar names on there. But at the same time, Tomlin gets those guys going. It's legit just the Steelers are a well built team and the Falcons are trying to figure out what style of team they are this season. It being in Atlanta probably does help, and again, like it's still like it's a great offense, and their defense they improved by the end of training camp. It's still one of those that's just like I don't know. I just think the Steelers are a more complete team. The Cardinals playing the Bills. Yeah, most people picking the Bills for that one. I've seen some people like watch out for Arizona. They might surprise people, and I'm like, yeah, they could. And by surprise people, it's going to be keeping this game close. They do not have a defense ready to go against Buffalo, even with Buffalo having like one main receiving option, and that being I'd have two. And both of those are their tight ends. It's like I I like I like Arizona this year. I think they're going to be somewhat decent, and Kyle Murray's going to win them a few games. They're going to probably be around 500. But at the same time, like they get Buffalo week 1 in Buffalo. It was not a fair draw for the Cardinals. Titans played Titans play Chicago. I have Tennessee for this one. Like Caleb Williams, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to see how that offense is. It's again another well built offense. But the thing is, they're going against another well built offense, and I just don't fully trust Chicago's defense be able to stay pat and play Tennessee's offense well. Really enough, I could see this being a game similar to Will Levis's debut. We played Atlanta, which was supposed to be like a pretty solid defense, and he ends up just completely lighting them up, throwing for 4 touchdowns. I could see him doing something similar. Yeah, it's in Chicago, and who knows what the weather's going to be for that game. But honestly, if it's a poor weather game, it might benefit Tennessee because I like the running back room a lot better. Chicago's just a weird team. They're a team that, even though they do have a good chunk of weapons, they need to prove it to me that they can combine. Because with the core they have of like Williams, Dunze, and DeAndre Swift, I just think back to Forte, Cutler, and Marshall. We're like, yeah, that's a really good trio. Now, can you actually just win the games you need to win? I know it's weird saying that for like a trio that is 2/3 rookies, but it's just like because you're rookies, I'm not going to put you in favor when the defense and your coach is not the greatest. Just simple. I like how no one has faith in New England. It feels so good seeing New England's downfall this season. Like the fact that absolutely no one has faith in New England to win this game, which makes complete sense, but like man, does New England have a really weird situation. I get and I respect not throwing Drake May into the fire immediately, especially against a Bengals defense, which can definitely create chaos in the backfield. But I don't know, I kind of just feel like we need to see Drake May at some point this season. You can't hide him forever. You can't hide him the entire year. Like he needs to eventually show up and like play this season and get those game reps. And I'm sure there will be times where New England is just getting completely blown out, and they're like go in there for the final like drive or two and get this experience or whatnot. But I know there's a difference between the game reps you'll get in like the middle eight. You get in the middle eight compared to the final like 5 minutes. And it's those middle eight game reps were like most important parts of the game that I want Drake. I want to see how Drake May plays in. I think he could be the guy for New England. I hope he isn't because I don't know once New England have success for a while. Just because they had 20 years of success, I don't feel like they really necessarily deserve it. But at the same time, it's just like I don't know. The Patriots are a weird situation. Real quick, I think we'll be talking about. Let's see what's next. Yeah, let's just go back to talking about Jaguars Miami. As the official depth charts were released earlier this week, I believe. either earlier this week or late last week. One of the things on there was Jonnu Smith is not listed as tight end. He's listed as the F receiver, or as the F position. And for some reason, that got a lot of debate and a lot of talk going amongst Dolphins Twitter and everything. And I've seen a lot of different people say things about it and have their own have their like the whole two sides of the coin situation. I'm just like, yeah, I did not expect yeah, it's kind of weird to list as a tight end, but I didn't expect him to be a primary tight end. Like I expect him and Achane to be moved all around the formation. I know Achane is listed as a running back and not the F, but again, both of them are like they're going to be used in a lot of unique and a lot of fun ways, and I'm excited to see it on Sunday. Because McDaniel is going to come up with so much now that he has like a bigger bodied receiving option that is also athletic and elusive. Like McDaniel is like he's gonna have a field day on Sunday at field because don't get me like Jacksonville is a good team. They're a solid team, but at the same time they're playing Miami. And Jacksonville has a lot to prove in the sense of no one really knows how good they are because they collapsed last season and Trevor Lawrence's first year wasn't great. And then they had that playoff run 2 years ago. But I was like, they need to be consistent for a few seasons and then kind of see it. That's why like paying T-Law that much money seems a little crazy for me. But at the same time, I mean, he did win a playoff game, and that was a great playoff game he won. So there's that side of it. Let's see. I mean, I saw this stat after I recorded everything for predictions, and like after I edited and got it all up and everything and scheduled. So I saw this way after. Like I saw it yesterday before predictions went up, but like, I already had it scheduled and everything by the time I saw this. But the Saints are on a 5-game win streak when it comes to week ones. Like they've won 5 straight week ones, and they're playing Carolina this week, of which I picked Carolina to win. And not a lot of people seem to be agreeing with that. That hey, Carolina is a pretty solid team this season. And no one truly knows what New Orleans looks like. Because yes, they got Derek Carr, they have Chris Olave, they have Kamara. Their defense is still led by Cam Jordan and not really a lot else. I just don't like the Saints this season. I think they're going to be a pretty bad team. That's why I have them losing to Carolina. Because it should be, if it's a close game, I trust Carolina's new identity, I guess. And I think Bryce Young is going to have a good leap forward for this season. Like I legit think he's going to he's going to show like he's going to have like his true similar to how Trevor Lawrence's second year they ended up winning a playoff game. He looked a lot better, and that's like his true rookie season. Or Tua with his second year in the league was his true rookie season. Like this is Bryce Young's true rookie season. And I think he's going to like showcase why he was the first overall pick. Now that could easily just mean go 7-10 and be in a fight for the division come the final week of the season because it's the NFC South. But at the same time, they have a decent team. It's not the greatest by any means. I don't have them like doing anything special. I just have them being a competent team this season, and that's all they need to be. Because I don't think the Saints are going to be competent. Like I part of me gets the hype around the Saints, but I don't like Dennis Allen. I don't like Derek Carr leading the way. They need more receiving options. I think they still have like a 40-year-old Jimmy Graham at tight end. And then Kamara is getting up there in age. He's damn near. I think he's close to 30, or he is 30. Like they're in such. You can only use Taysom Hill so much as a wild card option. Like Taysom Hill, he's great. Like he is the Saints' F receiver. or F position because he's like it's a jack of all trades. But yeah, I don't get the hype around the Saints. I just don't. I'm not high on them. I also don't get why so many people are high on the Giants. Like, not the Giants, on the Vikings. Why are so many people high on the Vikings? Like I guess Sam Darnold might be better than his Jets days because the Jets franchise is ran like shit. But at the same time, he's still Sam Darnold. He's not going like the Vikings are only going to be so good this season. And I think a lot of people, I think it's more just a case that more people are sleeping on the Giants than are actually high on the Vikings. Like, the Giants have a good team. They have a great front seven. Their secondary can leave some question at times, but it's a solid secondary. And Daniel Jones is your main question mark at quarterback, and where he has like a somewhat, I mean, yeah, his off days are bad, but the Vikings aren't going to do anything special against him besides running a lot of cover zero. This is a Brian Flores coach defense. They're going to do cover zero to death. And Daniel Jones is a somewhat mobile quarterback. I don't know how mobile he will be because he's coming off of injury, but he's at least he has mobility to him. Like I don't like a lot like, for some reason like 75% of people are going with the Vikings, and I just don't understand why. Like I don't get hype around the Vikings against the Giants. It could just be no one has faith in Daniel Jones and the Giants, and I completely get it. But I have more faith in Daniel Jones against the Vikings defense than I do Sam Darnold against the Giants defense. Justin Herbert was not even on the injury report, so he's good to go against the Raiders. That's going to be a good game. I have the Chargers winning. Seahawks Broncos was a game I was not sure which way to pick because I really liked how Bo Nix played in the preseason. Their defense is the main reason why. I thought when it comes to the Broncos Seahawks game, I thought of it as this is going to be a shootout. Who do I think will win Who do I think is more built for a shootout? And I went with Seattle for that because they're more veteran team. They're more like this is their third year with this core together that they have. So I have more faith in Seattle to win a shootout because they have won big shootouts in the past. So yeah, that's the main reason why I picked Seattle. I don't remember why I said I remember in the predictions video why I said Seattle, but the main reason is shootout. I picked Dallas, I picked Tampa, I picked Detroit. And for the most part, they I guess like the against the grain picks are Giants, Panthers, Titans, and Steelers. They like 5. Because like every week you get roughly like 5 or so. Like, wow, did not expect that outcome results. Or like, damn, that's technically an upset. And I don't know, because some of these point spreads also don't make sense. I'm not like I only look at point spreads to like try to aid with predictions. Because like if they're an 8-point favorite, I'm like, wow, that's a lot. Let me truly see why they're that big of favorites. That's what they did with Seattle and Denver. But yeah, look at point spreads for legit only to help with predictions. I don't gamble myself. But like going back, like Seattle, Denver, Seattle is favored by 6. Why? Don't fully get it. I get the Bengals being favored by 8. What was another like weird one I saw? Chicago being favored by 3.5 makes not a lot of sense to me because I feel like the Bears and Titans are more similar of a matchup than a lot of people expect. And I know teams gain 3 points of being the home team, so that's really more so like a half a point spread. But still, it's a case where I really think that should be more. A lot of people have pointed out the 6.5 point spread between Buffalo and Arizona. Another case where I kind of get why that's the spread, but at the same time, I feel like it could have been more. Is what that opened at 6.5. Yeah, Cincy and New England opened at 9. which that's, jeez, it's currently at 8.5, which, man, New England, it is weird. I never thought there would be a day I would see New England as 8.5 point underdogs. But that's crazy. There were a lot of games that are just in that like 3.5, 4 window for the point spread, which, I mean, it's just going to show how talented these teams are and how more like closely aligned they are. Because typically, like, I haven't looked at next week's yet, but I feel like next week we're gonna see some like 5, 6s. I also haven't really looked at over unders. What was it for? 43. Yeah. So for the pickup, I'm in the pickup league this year. They ask you for total points for the Monday night game, and I said 40. I feel like that's gonna be like, I feel like Jets Niners is a prime like 24-16 game. It's just some weird score like that. Because like the Jets defense, the Jets have I'd say okay. It is one of the better it's a really well coached defensive unit. They did lose some guys, they did just extend someone. So like I can understand the hype around the Jets defense. It does feel very like prime Darrell Revis esque of a defense. Just because you have Sauce Gardner, he's the main piece. Everyone around him are solid, but you could probably find improvement somewhere, but they just don't feel like it. And then you have then you have your front, you have your D line, which is a really good D line. If Hassan Reddick comes back, he was caught signing Jets helmets today. Still, who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on with Hassan Reddick? He's the only guy still holding out. I mean, that's just the Jets for you. I don't get the idea of trading for someone who clearly wants a new contract and not giving him a new contract. At least the case with the Patriots trading Matthew Judon, both sides are like, yeah, we're fine with you playing out your final year. Because like Judon wants to prove himself in Atlanta. Atlanta just needs someone for this season, as this feels like their one chance. But like, again, just Hassan Reddick, man, he's a really good player, and him not playing this season is going to suck for the NFL. Not even just for the Jets. Hassan Reddick is a fun guy to watch play when he's playing incredibly well and when he's playing at the top of his game. Missing that this season is going to suck. Like no way around it. It's going to suck. It makes the Jets worse, so I'm fine with it, but it's going to suck. That's why like the 49ers getting all their stuff situated is amazing, not only for the 49ers but for the league. Because watching Trent Williams play, watching Brandon Ayuk play, it is amazing to watch. And at the end of the day, like we want the NFL to just be full of great matchups and great games. That's why putting the Jets on 6 primetime slots makes no sense, but yeah, what did I know? And when the UFL was going on in the spring, I did pretty alright with predictions. We'll see how that transfers to the NFL. Probably not much. But speaking of that, Sunday Night Football, Rams Lions. We get to see Jake Bates in prime time to begin this season. I'm so excited. When I was doing the UFL, when the UFL was going on, I was doing the stuff for the UFL here. He was like, it was him, it was him, Ricky Person, and Adrian Martinez. That I felt like were pretty guaranteed to get onto an NFL training camp roster. Jake Bates is the starter in Detroit. Adrian Martinez landed a training camp invite, and I believe on the practice squad now for the Jets. And then Ricky Person's in Seattle. So yeah, I was good there, but a lot of UFL guys went to the NFL, and I'm happy with it. Because the UFL was fun to watch this season, and it was fun to call games for that, so I'm really excited for tomorrow night, calling Chiefs Ravens. That should be one hell of a game. In Arrowhead, we get to see the banner drop in. We get to see again 2 relatively newly new. We're gonna see two new identities for teams. I don't think either team is gonna look the exact same as last year. I think we're gonna see a little more run heavy from the Ravens. It was weird to say because the Ravens already do feel like a run heavy team, but I feel like we're gonna truly see them pound the rock more, like with Lamar and with Derrick Henry. And I could see the Chiefs going back to their really pass heavy raise and kind of not fully focusing on the run because they had to they had to focus on the run at times last year because their receiving core was just not it. This season with Xavier Worthy and eventually Hollywood Brown, they're gonna have a solid receiving core this year. So I forget what the exact numbers were, but I want to say the Chiefs were more close to 50-50 last year with run pass. I can check. Percentage. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I want to say the Chiefs. Were the Chiefs really a 60% pass team last year? That did not feel like it. I can see them getting up to that 65 range. 65% pass. Which is kind of crazy, but yeah, I could see them being 65% pass team this year. No shot Washington called 66% pass plays last year. No wonder Sam Howell was getting sacked a shit ton. And the Jets called 63% pass plays last year. Yeah, that's gonna change. Chargers 61% pass. That's gonna change. Oh yeah, I can see. What was KC's 2022? Okay, KC does typically sit around that 60-61% range. It seems they were 62 in 2020. 62. Okay, 23 was definitely a decrease in pass plays. It was the lowest in the Mahomes era, which is still 60% being the lowest in the Mahomes era. Crazy. I see him getting back to average of 62, 63. We'd be one of the more pass heavy teams in the league. I do not expect Washington to pass 66. They really passed 66% of the time last year. I feel so bad for Sam Howell now. Chargers will be more 50-50. They were 61 last year. Miami was 57% pass last year. I need that to be more to 50-50. It's already very close to 50-50. Baltimore was a 50-50 pass run team last year. Damn. I could see them getting under that 50% mark for pass plays. Because who did they have at receiver? Damn, no team last year was under 50% pass. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I am shocked at how pass heavy Cincinnati was last year. I'm shocked at that. I do not expect Tennessee to be a pass heavy team. I mean, they can be, but I expect them to be close to that 50-50-ish range. I expect Baltimore to be 50-50, if not lower. Let's see, I expect KC to be close to 63%. I expect Miami. I want Miami to be close to 55% pass. I wouldn't be shocked if it's around 60%, 57. As that's the thing with Miami though. We have 3 really good running backs, but we also have 3 we have 4 really good pass options. And that doesn't even include the running backs for a pass option. It's going to be interesting to see how everything gets molded together. And Jacksonville's a great first test for Miami because their front 7 is really good. Their secondary can leave some questions, but I mean, again, their front 7, Javon Walker and Josh Hines Allen, are really good. I need to learn how to pronounce Madubike's new first name for tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. I've loved that he's going back to those roots for his names, for his first name. I need to learn how to pronounce it now. I've never heard it pronounced, so I need to find that. Yay. God, what's this new news out of Washington? Oh my god. Can Washington stop having the shit leaked that's negative for like the rest of the NFL existence, please? Like Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Well, Washington, that is fantastic. Washington's history. I mean, it makes sense for Washington's history that their VP would say some shit like that. But really, I'm not even gonna. Yeah. Hey, what? Hey, I mean, Washington does also have at the same time. Washington seems to be to keep making their same mistakes they do every year. They have a chance to like fix one of them, which is how they handle the quarterback position. Like this is why I don't see them being a 66% pass team this year, and it's because of Jaden Daniels. Like I expect them to do a lot of like QB keepers, read options, and like run the ball with him a bit. But at the same time, I want them to be like, oh yeah, I want them to utilize his mobility because it is his strength. I don't want him to be another RG3, and I don't want them to like handle it properly. But I just don't trust Washington because it's Washington. Washington just makes no sense, none. And this is another situation where it's like they could either like they could either do the logical thing or make no goddamn sense because that's Washington for you. Like that's just Washington. But yeah, it's NFL said Chiefs Ravens tomorrow night begin the season. That's the main focus. Washington they play Tampa on Sunday afternoon. I have Tampa winning. Funny enough, I don't. That is the Sunday afternoon game I get. I do not get. I'm in the one area because I'm relatively close. I'm relatively close to Tampa, so I get the Tampa Washington game. I don't get Brady's first game call on Dallas. I get with Dallas and Cleveland, but I do have Sunday tickets, so I'll watch it anyway. But I just find it funny that like, damn, I really get Tampa Washington instead. That's that makes sense. It does. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a fun NFL season. The new kickoff. That's one thing I didn't mention in the predictions that I wish I did with the Steelers and Falcons game is the new kickoff. The new kickoff with the Steelers having Cordero Patterson. He is going to return one. I think it's obvious. Like he is going to return a kick on Sunday, right? I feel like it needs to happen. Like I feel like it's going to happen. Hold on. Like I feel like Cordell Patterson is going to house one. It just makes sense. Okay, hold up. We are gonna have a guest. Just give me one quick minute to get this set up. We're there. Yo. Oh. Hold on, give me a second. I'm setting up the. This fucking application registered correct thing, please. Come on. There we go. Should be good. Should be all set. So yeah. Finally making his appearance tonight. How you doing, Tocid?
Hey, look, I, I was not aware that this was happening beforehand. Let that be known.
I mean, I only told you at 5 p.m. that it was. Your sleep schedule is just dog shit.
You know that there's no need for that.
Anyway. We'll go over your power rankings real quick, and then I'll also go over mine.
Yeah, the power rankings.
Yeah, I knew that yours was gonna be chaotic, mainly because you don't fully know football, and because with the discussions we've had the past couple days, it's always been like, yeah, you always say, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do some dumb shit for it," so this should be fun.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna have the this is fully serious. This is exactly what I think is going to happen. Down to a T. You know, so uh, can I be very honest with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to make power.
Yeah, I figured.
That's correct.
Alright, so here's what you're gonna do then. Pull up a image of all the teams, or just find out we get a list of all the teams.
Yeah, I have one.
Cool. And then you can and then just go based off vibe and feel.
All right, in that case, number one on my power rankings is the Washington Commanders. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling about it.
So you're number one
I
is
don't even
Washington.
know who they have on their team.
I mean, they can be a decent team this season, but they're basically just a retirement home of the NFL this year. They got a lot of guys up there in age. All that can still play relatively well.
That sounds like the Clippers.
Yeah, basically. Except they don't have the same success. I mean, they might not have the same success as the Clippers.
Well, the Clippers don't have success.
Well, this is the first year a lot of these guys are on Washington, so we'll see.
All right, number two is an actual one. I'm gonna put the Lions there.
All right, I had the Lions at 4, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I get the use the thing with the Lions. Let's go real quick. So we'll go over their schedule because it is crazy that how lucky they got with their schedule. So to begin, they have 9 home games this season because the NFC is their turn to have the extra home game. So first 2 weeks at home, so inside and in a dome. They play Arizona week 3, which Arizona plays in a dome. Week 4 in a dome. Week 6 and 7 in a dome. Week 8 in a dome. Week 9 they play in Lambeau, which is an outdoor stadium. Week 10 in a dome. 11 in a dome. 12 in a dome. 13, 14, 15 in a dome. And then 16 and 17 they play outdoors and 18 in a dome. They play 14 of their 17 games inside, when they are one of the best inside teams in the NFL. Like
I was
I
I'm just mainly going off of the fact that they were no one expected them to be that good,
yeah, and then on top of it, yeah, they had a great season last year. Like I don't get the
and they're
Lions.
still very young. They can always just
They're
completely.
they're relatively young. I believe they're in the middle. So like around the 25 average age, I believe is the middle. Like they're like yeah, they're a relatively young team.
And so I'm gonna just go based off the assumption that they're going to be even better this season.
I think that's part of the assumption a lot of people have, but also again just the fact that they play 14 games indoors this year, which is crazy. All right, so who's your number
Um,
three?
I'm gonna go with probably the Niners there.
That's fair. I had them at two. So quick, I had Chiefs one, Niners two. The big thing with the Niners is the two big holdouts they had are finally settled and they got those guys paid and are practicing. So they're fully ready to go for the start of the season, and they probably are the best team in the NFC. My number three team is the Philadelphia Eagles. Probably, like I said in Power Rankings, probably way too high. But they have a one stacked of an offense.
Yeah, I guess Brunson's gonna be happy then.
Yeah. All right, four.
So I'm gonna see. This is where it's tough. You know, I don't know if he. But I'm gonna say I don't want to put the Cowboys on this at all. I'll be honest with you.
So yeah, I would say this. My number four was the Lions. Again, they played a lot of games indoors. They were one of the better teams last year. They're gonna get better this year. And like,
I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna put. Fuck it. I'll put the Dolphins there.
hey, I had Miami at 5 in my power rankings. Main thing is I wanted to see how the defense is gonna be. But yeah, I mean the expectations is they're gonna be one of the better offenses in the league, and they added more weapons.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that there was. Uh, the last season ended how badly it did.
Yeah, it that's the main thing we want to see. What most Dolphins fans want to see, including myself, is can they maintain the level of play and success come November and December? And they have a really tough test this season in November and December. So it's definitely like the chance to prove themselves is there this season. Because it's not like they get a cakewalk in those months. They go to Lambeau, they go to Cleveland, they play San Francisco. Like it's the chance to prove themselves, and if they can have a relatively successful November and December, there's no reason for them not to win the division and win a playoff game.
Yeah, it's after that where I think it is weird with the Dolphins because I don't know if the lack of experience later on in the playoffs can mean anything, but it might.
It definitely could, but at the same time, that's why like the veteran players they have are going to be so important if they do have a deep playoff run. Ramsey has a Super Bowl ring. Tyreek Hill has a Super Bowl ring. Calais Campbell has been to a championship game. So, and Odell has a ring. So like they have the vet guys to lead the way come playoff time. They had to have like the experience of like true playoff football. They just needed to not be completely freezing cold when they play playoff football, and I feel like they would be fine. They also need to be healthy.
That's the biggest issue with Miami. It
Yep.
feels.
Because they were banged up last year. Anyway, who is your number 5?
Hmm. All right, you know, after thinking about your list, I know there's a team there that I should probably mention, right? They obviously had a historic run last year. You know, they have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears at number.
There might be a point in the season where they're that high, but it's Chicago is such a weird franchise in general. In
They're
this,
going all the way this year.
they're not. That's the
They're
thing.
going all the way.
They're just not. Here's the thing with Chicago. I feel like if Chicago fans that have massive expectations this season need to take a step back and calm down. The expectations for this season should be in the playoff hunt come end of season. Like give Caleb Williams time to develop and learn the NFL, and their future is the limit. They need Caleb Williams to just have a relatively successful rookie season. He doesn't need to break records. He doesn't need to lead them to the playoffs or the Super Bowl or whatnot. He just needs them. He just needs to have a successful rookie season for a Chicago Bears quarterback, which could very easily
Well,
just be 3,500 passing yards.
what you see here's the thing, like
One.
Caleb Williams is going to be the Michael Jordan of football. So if anyone can do it, he can.
All right. All right. Here's your number 6.
Uh, uh, I'm gonna go the New England Patriots, not because I think they're good, but because I think it'll piss you off.
I don't know if it would piss me off. I think it'll piss most football fans off. So I had the Packers at 6 on mine. The Patriots they have a future in place as long as it goes right. And that's a very, very tough thing to ask for the 2020s Patriots. They just need to properly develop Drake May for like 2 or 3 years, and then they have their guy. Because I like the route they're taking of benching him for a season and letting him learn while the offensive line is shit. But the question is, can you then build that offensive line for the following season? Maybe, but this is where like you look back at I think it was the 2020 draft. It's either 2020 or 2021 where they drafted O line in the first round, But the issue was they drafted a lineman out of a FCS school in University of Chattanooga. If they would have drafted like, and not to say Cole Strange is necessarily bad, he hasn't fully like showcased himself as one of the like elite first round talent offensive linemen that the Patriots kind of need at the moment. They don't really have a true like force of nature on the offensive line. So maybe they focus on that on the draft next offseason, but who knows? The Patriots they're not expected to be too good this year.
You know, that's extremely fair. I don't even know if they'll win a playoff game, if I'm being honest.
They're not. They're not going to make the playoffs. There's a very here's where the Patriots situation could bite them in the ass. They could have they could have the number one overall pick, which would suck for which I mean it could be good because they could then trade out and gain some capital and whatnot, or they could be forced to draft Travis Hunter, and therefore any plans of building the offensive line kind of get sidetracked. New England wants a top 7 pick, but they don't want the number 1 pick. If that makes sense. Anyway, who's your number 7?
Um, who is my number 7?
I says my number 7 was the Houston Texans. I feel like the Texans definitely could have been higher on my power rankings, but at the same time, the defense leaves a little bit to be desired. They have a good defense, don't get me wrong. Like Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter are going to be a threat on that front 7. I am more so talking about like I want to see their secondary in action against the Colts before I move them up a bit. That's kind of trend with like my middle, like my 5, 6, and 7 are all like they have. I just want to see their defenses before I truly like put them like move them up or down. Who's your 7?
I'm gonna put the Ravens there because I haven't put them on here yet.
So again, I like Baltimore. I was talking about this a little earlier that I kind of expect them to be a run first team because the receiving room is just not fully reliable, which is going to bite them. Like it did last year. Like the receiving room being like not the greatest, maybe because like Odell didn't play a lot the second half of the season last year due to injury, but having like such a young and also like not the greatest like veteran receivers in that room means that they're really not gonna have a lot of options for that. So they're gonna use Lamar Jackson's legs, they're gonna use Derrick Henry. When they pass, it'll be to Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, and Isaiah Likely. But then like you can only do like those 5 things so much and in so many different ways before teams are just like, well, we'll just double everyone we can. I do think like I Baltimore is Baltimore could be a contender this season if Zay Flowers takes a big jump, but we'll see. Who's your number 8?
You see, I actually did have like a going from 10 to 1. I was running from the bottom to the top. For some reason, I put the New York Knicks here. I don't know why. So I guess I'll just substitute that for the Giants.
Okay. Knicks / Giants. I do think a lot of people are sleeping on the Giants, but at the same time, it's a rightfully so sleeping on because there's so many question marks for that offense. the defense I expect to be a pretty solid defense. Because I mean, like their front seven is a really good front seven with the addition of Brian Burns. It's just how's their secondary? How's Daniel Jones gonna play? How's their offensive line? And then like how's their receiver? Like how's Malik Neighbors gonna play? And how's their running back room gonna look? But if everything does if everything does like meet expectation, meet the level it should be, they're going to be a good team this year. As for the Knicks, you're probably more aligned to talk about them.
Yeah. So, well, I think that they can switch sports and then just completely dominate. I think Jalen Brunson could be one of the best quarterbacks ever.
My number 8, if you can see Power Rankings, my number 8 was the Cincinnati Bengals. I put them there even with the expectation that Jamar Chase was going to play. It does seem like he's going to. My main thing with the Bengals is how is their running back room going to be, because they lose Joe Mixon, who is a big loss. They're missing a solid receiver 3, it feels like, with Tyler Boyd being gone. And then kind of like how's their secondary going to look, because they did miss Jesse Bates last year. So I like Cincy to win the division. I think they'll have a good start to the season, finally. But it's just like New England's a great game, week 1 game for them, so everybody can figure out what kind of team they're going to be. I wouldn't be shocked if they're like 65, 70% pass, though. All right. Number 9.
All right. So the weird thing about this list here is, for some reason, I got the Harlem Globetrotters here. I don't know what happened. This isn't even a professional team anymore.
No, the Harlem Globetrotters still plays games.
Do they?
Yeah. In the spring, I was looking at like events to go to near me, and I saw there was a Globetrotters game. I was like, I might actually go to it. I did not end up going to it, but yeah, they still play games and shit.
So I'm just gonna go with those Arizona Cardinals. Fuck it.
Arizona has a good first test for the season with playing Buffalo.
Marvin Harris Jr., baby.
Marvin Harrison Jr. has honestly, it's weird. Like in theory, they picked a bad hand by getting Buffalo week 1, but at the same time, Buffalo doesn't have a lot of talent compared to last year. Yeah, Josh Allen is still going to probably wreck the Arizona defense, but Buffalo's defense is I feel like going to have some trouble with Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. Their secondary does not look great with Rasul Douglas and starting safety DeMar Hamlin. Yes, that is real. But the main thing is like Matt Milano was injured. He's not playing for at least his first week, I believe. I'm not sure if he's out longer. But missing Matt Milano to like be the captain of that defense and to be the star middle linebacker he is, they're probably going to have some trouble with Kyler Murray running around. And that's why a lot of people are saying that Arizona could cover the 6.5 points.
Well, see, I just think we're better.
Yeah. If Arizona wins week 1, that would be amazing for me.
I just think the Bills, they're not a real team. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, who have the Bills had over the past 20 years?
Terrell Owens, Hall of Famer. Well, should be a Hall of Famer. Marshawn Lynch, who will be a Hall of Famer. Josh Allen, who will be a Hall of Famer. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who should be a Hall of Famer, but probably won't get in because he never played playoff
I'm hearing a lot of should be's, could be. Would be's.
Frank Gore, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
More so as a 49er, but still. Anyway,
you see that all those, but then they had success.
Nah, kinda. Recently they have. In the sense of, weirdly enough,
Exactly. Recently.
I know if there's any Bills fans watching, I know Bills fans might not be the happiest with this, but they're kind of like the 76ers.
That's not a good thing.
I know. My number 9 when I did for Power Rankings this week was the Cowboys. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, they're not gonna be on this list, trust me.
here's the thing with the Cowboys. I have them winning week 1. I'm just very concerned about how the holdouts are going to treat the team. Because, yeah, CeeDee Lamb did eventually get paid and has been practicing with the team. I just don't trust much of the outside of their receiving room. I don't trust the running back room. And Micah Parsons, he's been holding out. I don't think he's been practicing. But if they don't have Micah Parsons, that's a massive hit to the defense. They did get Trayvon Diggs back, which is going to help out the secondary. But again, the Cowboys pretty much took the exact same team that they had last year and just make them a year older and put them to this season, which doesn't work. Or at least it doesn't typically work.
I don't think I trust anyone involved in that team.
That is fair. I do think that Mike McCarthy is going to probably not be with the Cowboys next season. Yes, predictions went up earlier today, but we'll be going over them as well shortly. We'll just finish up Power Rankings real quick. Yeah, there will be predictions each and every week.
Yeah. At least you will. I don't know if I.
Well, I'll be posting a video for my predictions each and every week, and then on these Wednesday nights, we'll be going over the entire slate of games, which is where Toast's predictions will come in.
Yeah, my
Wrap up your power rankings top 10.
Um. See, there are two very good teams that aren't on my list yet.
Yeah.
So it's between them two, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a tough choice, but between the two, I would rather have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on my list.
They easily could have been an honorable mention for my power rankings. I'm really high on Tampa this season, and I feel like a lot of people are blinded by Atlanta getting as good as they have, getting the pieces they have, which is totally understandable. But yeah, I do think Tampa is a sleeper team this season, and they're going to be a tough out for Atlanta.
Yes, but this is a perfectly accurate power rankings, and everyone should make their bets according to this.
Yep, that's right. Knicks for the final.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's quickly run through week 1. So to begin, tomorrow night is the Ravens traveling to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs
And
are
losing.
3. You have the Ravens winning.
No, they're traveling to Kansas City and losing. That's what's
Okay, you have
happening.
KC.
Right?
Yeah, I also have KC winning. I need to fully look into this. I know that last year the Chiefs lost the kickoff, but I believe they have lost it twice. Here's the thing with the Chiefs though. Last year they lost to the Lions in large part because Kelsey did not play and Chris Jones did not. At least Kelsey played injured and Chris Jones did not play. The Chiefs are going into this game extremely healthy. To be fair, so are the Ravens. But the Chiefs are going into this game healthy. They have all their key players in it. Like it makes too much sense to not pick. It makes too much sense to pick the Chiefs. Like they have all the pieces they need for tomorrow night.
Yeah, something tells me that's going to be the exact same statement made about most of the games this season.
You'll be shocked. All right, second game, the Friday night game in Sao Paulo. The Packers play the Eagles, with the Eagles being 2.5 point favorites. I have the Eagles, but it was not an easy decision.
Who's on the Packers again? I forgot.
They are the youngest team in the NFL. Jordan Love is entering his second season as a starter. They have, I think, 30 receiver Christian Watson. They have Dontavian Wicks. Josh Jacobs was added in the offseason, who's a really good running back. Their defense is a lot of the same pieces as last year, but again, they just had another year of experience. Like if this game was in Lambeau, I'm picking the Packers. And I know Packers have a big following in Brazil. Neutral site. I like Philly too much. Their team is too well built to handle a game like this. And plus, it feels like that Philly needs to start off the season well with a big time win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers exclusively because I don't feel like having exactly what the predictions are.
Right. Going on to Sunday, the Steelers travel to Atlanta to play the Falcons. Falcons are favored.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean, you may
No.
say no shit, but to me, I think this should be. I think the Steelers are being way too slept on. I think the Steelers are a much better built team than some people say.
They're slept on to everyone that isn't Stephen A. Smith.
Hey, see,
Uh,
Stephen A. Smith got an interview with Jerry Jones. I'm excited to watch that. Like he's interviewing the owner of a team he despises. That's fantastic. But yeah, I have the Steelers. The main thing with the Steelers, they're a team built around an elite defense. And Russell Wilson is the quarterback who is really good at just not turning the ball over, or at least not turning the ball over in a way that puts the defense in a bad spot. I think, and I think if any team like this, like, don't get me wrong, the Falcons added a lot of really nice pieces in the offseason to both sides of the ball. But their very first game with everyone playing together is against the Steelers defense. That's a tough first draw. And I, I just think that this is the part of that learning curve for Atlanta's offense. Plus, I think Cordell Patterson's going to have a kick return touchdown. It just makes too much sense.
yeah, I mean, I might be underrating the Steelers a bit because I don't fully know. I'm not going in with much expectations for them.
And yeah, not a lot of people are. It's just Tomlin has never had a losing season. They have a quarterback who can protect the football better than Kenny Pickett. I mean, they just have a team that I feel like Tomlin will find a lot of success with. Next game, Arizona travels to Buffalo. Kind of touched on this during power rankings when we went over those. I will tell you this: 6% of people in this prediction league I'm in for the ESPN app are picking the Cardinals.
All that isn't something I expect, but
Yeah, like, Buffalo is expected to win. I have Buffalo winning, and it's not because Arizona is bad. It's just their defense isn't up to par, and they're not built to win a shootout.
I'm still gonna go with Arizona, but I just wasn't aware that there was anyone who actually agreed with me.
And a lot of the when it comes to things like this, where like that little people is on the Cardinals, it's people trying to like it's people. Like, I think more the money is more so like 60-30, like 64, like 66-33 ish. But it's people just trying to like take advantage of the fact that there's such big underdogs that they could like get a leg up on people. Which is kind of what I'm doing with this one. Tennessee travels to Chicago. I have Tennessee winning, even though Chicago
Right.
are favored.
I got Chicago.
The main
Just
thing,
Caleb Williams.
the main thing for me is I like Tennessee's experience more. It's a case where Tennessee is going to be the better coach team, and they're going to make the plays they need to when it matters most. And I don't think Chicago is going to be that same preparedness. I don't trust their coach to make to for them. I don't trust their coach to put them in the correct situation.
I'm going off of the assumption that Caleb Williams. Okay.
And I wouldn't be shocked if Caleb Williams does have a good day and Chicago wins. I just think that there's a bump in the road that's going to happen, and this is a and this is a and this is an opponent that they could definitely like sleep on themselves and not take seriously. So that like, this is where the bump would come in. Next, New England travels to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is favored by 8.5.
Not by me though.
I have Cincinnati within. You're saying New England wins?
Yep.
That would be a very Cincinnati thing. I will say also tell you this: 3% of people in this predictions league are saying the Patriots, and I bet you every single one of them are Patriots.
Oh yeah, look, I apologize to Bob Flash, but I don't trust the Bengals at all.
And again, like Cincy is like historically known for starting off season slow. I just don't see it this year because they play the Patriots, and the Patriots are not a good team. Like they've started other seasons slow, in part because they play tough opponents early on in the season. That's not the case, at least for week one. Now, week two, they do play Kansas City, which is a different story we'll get to next week. But for this first week, at least, they play New England week one. That's a really good first game. The Hughes.
See,
Yeah, what did I say?
I would say my prediction is a mix of me feeling that the Patriots are still have a little bit of that old mojo in them, and also just distrust for the Bengals in general.
Yeah, the Patriots defense is still going to be a really solid defense. But that can only get you so far when your offense isn't good. I mean, just look at the Jets for the past who the fuck knows how long. Anyway, next game. The Texans travel to Indianapolis.
Um, I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Yeah, Texas are favored. I also go with Houston. It's again, this is going to be a really good game and a really close game. I just Anthony Richardson scares me because he's coming off of injury. He's going into his second year. I don't fully know what he's going to look like, as well as I don't know what that defense is going to look like. With Houston, they made the divisional round last year. CJ Stroud looked amazing. The offense looked great. The defense looked great. They added pieces to both sides. At least with Houston, we kind of have a sense of we know they are a really good team. For the Colts, we're going off of assumption. We're going off
I
of
don't
this.
even know who's on the Colts. I'll be honest.
That's another thing with the Colts is like Anthony Richardson's the second year quarterback. They have Jonathan Taylor, who's a really good running back, and everyone else is really solid, but not like a star player in the league. But they're still like really good. Which is why like it's a lot of assumptions with the Colts of like, yeah, they're gonna be like this, but no like proof per se. Next one, Jacksonville travels to Miami. Miami is favored. I obviously have Miami to win.
I also have mine ending one.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on for days about this Miami team and like how I feel like it's gonna be a really good team if it can stay healthy.
I feel like it's not needed to go detail that much.
Yeah,
I think all
I'll
you need
probably
to
release a
do.
preview video talking about this game specifically, just because I'm a Dolphin fan. So that would either probably be Saturday.
I think all you need to say is they're going up against Jacksonville.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, Jacksonville has been a pretty solid team as of late. It's just last year they dealt with injuries, which caused a late season collapse. But yeah, there's definitely still question marks surrounding Jacksonville because they didn't necessarily get better last in the offseason, but at the same time they didn't necessarily get worse. So it's weird. They're a weird team.
I think it's those question marks that make me just at least early on in the season, I don't exactly
Yeah.
have the highest hopes.
Next one. Carolina travels to New Orleans. New Orleans is favored.
Um, I'll go Carolina
I also
because
go Carolina. We joined 9% of people in this league. I do not get the hype around New Orleans. I feel like it's more so like no one has faith in Carolina, but I have even less faith in New Orleans. They did
why would anyone have faith in New Orleans?
they
They've never.
they didn't really do anything in the offseason. If anything, they got worse. Yeah, I do not trust Derek Carr. I don't trust Dennis Allen. And at least with Carolina, they have at least like added pieces to attempt to be better. Now the defense is a question mark because they let Brian Burns go. But you're going against the Saints offense, which last season was not a good offense. And it's like again, it's an offense that only got worse in the offseason because they let guys go, and I don't know. I don't get the hype surrounding the Saints.
Well, yeah, I would think that no one has any hope in the Saints, but apparently I'm wrong there.
I legit just think it's more so the case of the Panthers were the worst team in the league last year. So like they're obviously gonna be bad again this year, but like they had not a good coach last year. I mean, like Frank Reich was fired halfway through the season that they were so bad. Bryce Young was playing behind a bad offensive line with really no receiving options, and then the defense barely could make a stop. In the offseason, they added to the offensive line, they added receiving options, they got a new coach in Dave Canales, who should be better than Frank Reich. I mean, it's Carolina. Just I feel like too many people are saying Carolina's gonna be a bad team again this year.
Well, I mean, we have no real way of telling, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only time would tell, but I like people are gonna be surprised by Carolina. I feel just
yeah.
all right, next one. Minnesota travels to the Giants.
I'm gonna go with the Giants just because.
I too am going with the Giants, and I just don't trust Sam Darnold, who's the quarterback for Minnesota. I do not trust him one goddamn bit. I just don't. I trust Daniel Jones more than I do Sam Darnold.
The only positive I can really say about Minnesota is that they have a great stadium.
It's a pretty good stadium. It kills a lot of birds.
Who cares about those birds? Fuck the birds.
They also have Justin Jefferson, who's is a great receiver, and the whole when in doubt, just throw him the ball thing could work for them. But I don't know. You can only do that so many times. The Raiders travel to the Chargers.
I'm going to Vegas, baby.
House always wins, but I do have the Chargers. Even though the Chargers receiving room is a very big question mark. I like the defensive unit they have. I like the running back room is pretty solid, but it's mainly just Justin Herbert. Part of it,
Yeah, they don't have the power of gambling on their side,
part
though.
of me wanted to go with the Raiders because I feel like they're going to be a solid team this year. Their defensive line is going to be probably the best D line in football. I don't know, man. I just don't fully know with the Raiders. Gardner Minshew is going to like pull shit out of his ass and win them a game or two where they shouldn't. This could very easily be one of those. But
this is their first year.
no, they've been in Vegas for like 4 years. This is like the fourth season.
Yeah.
But again, I would.
And who's their team owner exactly? Mr. House.
Honestly, yeah, basically, Mark Davis is not. Mark Davis isn't the best owner. His pops, Al Davis, was fantastic. Mark Davis might as well be Mr. House. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders win. It's just Harbaugh. Harbaugh is gonna want to get a really good start to the season with his first year back coaching in the NFL. So, yeah, I have the Chargers. The Broncos travel to Seattle and play the Seahawks. This game is marking history for the Broncos. I will say that this is the first time that a first round pick of theirs is started in week 1 since John Elway. And it is the first time a rookie is getting the captainship since the 60s.
Yeah, man, with that in mind, I'm going with the Seahawks.
I too am going with the Seattle, although I do think this game is going to be closer. Again, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, mentioned some predictions. I am viewing this game as this is going to be a shootout. Who do I trust more in a shootout? A rookie quarterback with one really good receiver and questionable supporting core, or a veteran quarterback with a really good supporting core that has been together for 3 years at this point? Yeah, I'm going with the supporting cast has been together for 3 years. And plus, Mac McDonald, their new head coach, was a really good defensive coordinator for Baltimore last year. And I feel like he's going to bring that same defensive mindset and defensive dominance to Seattle, even though they've lost a few guys.
Yeah, it looks bright for the Seahawks as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, yeah, it kind of looks bright, but at the same time, they have a pretty tough division this year.
Well, yeah, maybe not this year, but they have 2 weeks left.
Yeah. Next one is also Tom Brady's first game call-in as a Fox announcer. The Cowboys travel to Cleveland.
Is there anyone who thinks Cleveland could win this?
30%. It's about, yes, 30%.
And that shocks me.
It's in a large part because Cleveland's defense last year was a historically good defense for the majority of the season. And that is also the part where people don't realize that it's not going to be as good as it was last year. Because you do not have 2 historically good defensive seasons back to back.
Yeah, unless you're one of the greatest teams of all time, which the Browns are not.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. Unless you're the Patriots of the Patriots of the 2010s, the Steelers of pretty much any age, the Ravens of the 2000s, Dolphins of the 70s. Like you truly need like a defensive minded head coach to have consistent historical defense seasons. Cleveland does not have that. They have Kevin O'Connell, who is an offensive minded guy, who's been coaching an offense that's frankly it's been good considering what they've had to deal with. But yeah, it's still just the main question for the offense is, can Deshaun Watson stay healthy and can Deshaun Watson play consistently enough? First answer is maybe. Second answer, no. I have Dallas winning if you know though.
Yeah, I don't have hope in any of the so
Washington travels to Tampa to end off the Sunday afternoon window.
I'm on Washington. Let's do it.
I'm on Tampa.
Okay, yeah, but now I have Washington at my number one in power rankings. So yeah,
I think Washington could give Tampa a fight. I just don't think it'll be enough of a fight.
what do you mean? They're gonna command the game. It's in the name.
Okay. Sunday Night Football. The Rams travel to Detroit in a rematch of the NFC wildcard game from last year.
I'm gonna go with Detroit, obviously.
Same, but I will say I am shocked with how many people are going with Detroit. I do think the Rams are going to keep this close, and it's going to be a good game. Again, the Lions were just one of the best teams indoors last year, and Jared Goff is like historically really good indoors. This game is in Detroit in a dome of Ford Field. The Lions are going to play really well.
Yeah. I think Eminem is going to be in attendance, and that's going to push him over the edge.
Okay. Final game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Jets travel to the 49ers.
49ers. I don't think there's any need to go any further on.
Yeah, similarly to how we wasn't allowed to say of why the Dolphins would beat the Jaguars. I don't think there's a lot of reasons just why, or much need to really say why the Niners would beat the Jets. Besides just the Niners have one of the best constructed teams in football with a pass rush that's going to cause chaos.
And the Jets
are the Jets.
Yep.
All right. Well, there we have it. I'm gonna quickly dip from calls, sign off.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. First week. Again, this will be weekly. Power rankings will be weekly. Predictions will be weekly. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Tomorrow, I will be live to do live play-by-play of Ravens versus Chiefs. So, come on back tomorrow at around 8 o'clock. The plan is to do all primetime games, as well as the majority of Dolphin games this season. So, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Have yourselves a damn good one. Peace.